they say I'm neurodivergent, or if they say they have a mental disorder and they say, look, I've been diagnosed with this, but I am this. So that's not a good sign. And I would really look at what that mental disorder was. When you're on a date, I would sort of change my outlook and look at it as a job interview for a future mother of my children, rather than how does this person look on social media or on my arm. Borderline women, cluster B women are always incredibly attractive. They're very seductive, very good at being on your arm. And they are great at creating profiles and so on. But you want to look for a couple of things, right? That's why I say a job interview for a future mother. You want to look for someone who can sacrifice, for someone who's mature, who can care about your needs, that when you have a hard week at work, that she will put her issues aside and be there for you. Like that's something that you're going to want already quite early in the relationship. How are you going to know that? How are you going to look for self-sacrifice when on the first date? So I would say just ask a bunch of questions and see how they answer those questions. On our first date, you don't want to talk about you because you know you. You want to have her answer as many questions as possible and listen to her, what she's saying, how she's talking about her ex-boyfriends. If she's telling you about an abusive event or a bad ex-boyfriend or an abusive father or a neglectful mother on that first date, that's a huge red flag, right? A person who's truly traumatized will not tell you about that trauma on the first, second, or third date. The core tenet of trauma is avoidance and shame and guilt. So that's not something that they'll sort of brag about in a dating setting. So that's a red flag. And so how they're talking about people in their lives and their female friends. Borderline is a sort of female psychopathy. And with male psychopaths, we're very good at recognizing, we're very good at telling people how to look for a male psychopath. And one of that is, are they embedded in a community? Because psychopaths are found out, they're exposed because they prey on people. So they have to keep moving around. So you want to ask her, like, how long have you been where you are? You have a roommate. How long have you been without roommates? Things like that. Signs that is she embedded in a community that still wants her, and for how long? Or does she have friends from childhood? Do you see them? You want to ask her all of those questions already on the first date. Like ask her about the family, and meet the family and the siblings, because they've had the same childhood. They've had a lot of the same experiences, and if they talk about those experiences in very different ways, you should pay attention to that. Borderliners are quite seductive, and they'll keep a lot of options open in a sexual way. Like they always want to be attached to someone, not because they want that bond. They're unable to keep that long-term bond, but they want to always be attached to someone to get their supply. So that's why they have always these people orbiting them, these men, because they keep sort of feeding them breadcrumbs so they'll stick around in case they need them. I think online they're called beta orbiters. Yeah, I call them victims of intermittent reinforcement.